All right, I now call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, roll call. Whoa, I got a stutter.
It's an echo.
Turn it down a little bit. Yeah.
It's got a delay too.
It does. Okay. All right, roll call.
Ms. Carter?
Here.
Ms. Klein?
Here.
Ms. Enlow?
Here.
Mr. Hibbert?
Here.
Ms. Huffman? Here. And Mr. Nisbet?
Here.
All right, all present, thank you. Next we have approval of the minutes, that's 9/26/22, is the regular meeting minutes as presented. Entertain a motion?
Motion. Second.
Okay, Bonnie, Enlow, Stacy Klein, got the second. Okay, all in favor? Five hands are up, Kenny abstaining. Okay, all right, he was leading the meeting. Okay, old business, this is the ordinance 022070, and it would have to be motion to bring it off the table to discuss and talk
Make a
about.
motion to bring it off the table.
Okay, Bonnie
Second.
Enlow. What was that, Lisa
Second.
Carter? Okay, Lisa Carter, second. Okay, those in favor? All hands are up, okay, carry 6-0, okay.
Ordinance number 022-070, an ordinance amending the Bullitt County City zoning order and Bullitt County City zoning map as amended, changing the zoning of 4 acres more or less located at 470 Old Preston Highway South in the city of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037-E00-15-025 from agricultural to IG general industrial. Whereas the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission held a hearing on August 11th, 2022, and based upon the testimony offered in that hearing, found that such change is not in agreement with the adopted comprehensive plan, but there have been significant changes in the area, and has recommended that the Bullitt County City zoning order and the Bullitt County City zoning map be amended to change the zoning of 4 acres located at 470 Old Preston Highway South in the city of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037-E00-15-025 from agricultural to IG general industrial. And whereas the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky approves said recommendation. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky. Section 1. The Bullitt County City zoning order and the Bullitt County City zoning map are hereby amended to change the zoning of 4 acres located at 470 Old Preston Highway South in the city of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037-E00-15-025 from agricultural to IG general industrial. Section 2. This ordinance shall take effect upon publication. Section 3. Should any section, clause, line, paragraph, or part of this ordinance be held unconstitutional or invalid for any reason, the same shall not affect the remainder of this ordinance. Section 4. Parts of any ordinances in conflict with this ordinance or any part of this ordinance are hereby repealed. Given first reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky on the 12th day of September 2022. Given second reading at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky on the 26th day of September 2022. And Mayor, I believe the last time we read this, Brenda can correct me, the ordinance number was different. We've had to change it because we had a double numbering situation. So the rest of the ordinance is exactly identical to what was previously read, but the number was changed.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. Need a motion?
Well, let's do
I think
this.
the
Speak
folks
up.
here to talk.
Yeah.
Speaks are here. Well, I was gonna say,
We already took it off the table.
okay, I already took it off the table.
All right.
Okay, yeah, you wanna come on up? Yeah. And, give your name and your, who you work with.
You turn
Yes,
that
sir,
on
yeah.
the very front at the
Touch the tip of it and it'll
Right
turn
here.
green.
Yeah, there you
There
go.
you go.
It's green.
Good, yeah.
All right, well, I have a teacher's voice, so it might blow it up. I don't know.
All right.
My name's Troy Johnson. I'm representing my dad here. He's had that piece of property there for about 50 years.
Well,
Back and
sir,
forth.
real quick, unless you're an attorney, you can't represent him. You can
Okay,
speak,
well,
but you can't
he's
represent
my
someone
family
else.
member. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Not a lawyer, teacher, athletic director. There you go. So what we're doing is we want to. He's had a heart attack, so we wanted to. He's been sitting there for about 4 years, and my cousin, which is here today to talk about it, to answer any questions, what came about to have a crematorium there. When we went to, first of all, we want to apologize for not being here. We had no idea. I called each one of you just to tell you that, you know, that's not who we are. We're here just to, you know, we just want to come and do what we're supposed to do, so we apologize. Thank you, Brenda, for calling me on Friday, right between the football game, but I appreciate that. But anyways, that's who we are. And I know that the zoning had where we had to be a crematorium, that's what it was, so that's one of the regulations that it was. It couldn't go back to anything else, so we agreed to that there, and that's what we're here to answer any questions. And my cousin here would be here, he'd be able to answer the real questions about the crematorium.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, any questions from the council?
Your name?
Do we
My
have,
name's David Johnson.
Stephen Johnson?
David Johnson, sir.
David Johnson?
Yes.
Okay, David Johnson, okay, thank you.
David, is this gonna be a human or animal facility?
This will be both, ma'am. My partners and I, there are 4 of us involved in this business. One would be my wife, who's a clinical social worker for the state of Kentucky, who is retired. The other partner, he is a former LMPD, Marine, and a licensed funeral director. And then Carla Raish would be my other partner, and she's a funeral director for 20 years. So we have 60 years experience among us in the funeral industry.
Is it gonna be open to the public, or is it a third-party consumer business?
No, we will serve both the public and work with any other funeral homes that need our services. During COVID, the cremation demand grew rapidly. The local crematories in our state are unable to handle that volume, therefore showing a need for additional services. And that's why we decided we would like to take our expertise and move it into the crematory business.
What would be the hours of operation?
Our hours of operation would be 9 to 4 daily. Of course, we're an on-call business, so if someone dies in the middle of the night, we would bring their loved one into our care. But the actual operations when we would be on property would be 9 to 4 daily.
Monday through Friday or?
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Yes, and we are, like we stated, we will be human and animal. I'm a member of the Louisville Kennel Club. The Louisville Kennel Club, one of the presidents there, we replaced the Shepherdsville police dog once it was shot. So we have a lot of involvement with the community here, and we want to continue that involvement. Those will be separate facilities. The humans are done in one retort. The animals have to be done separately in another one. So there's no combining of those services.
So as a consumer, I could call you.
Yes, if your loved one
and a
died, we
funeral-
would pick
and a-
up,
And the funeral home both, so it could be both?
that's correct.
Okay. And, my last question is, what are you going to do about the control, the odor?
In modern day crematory equipment, that is all taken care of. It does not, like in the 60s and that, you did have an odor issue. But now they have odor scrubbers, they have a fire marshal monitoring system that links our equipment directly to the fire department. It's controlled, monitored, they can adjust it, so we have no odor regulations as far as that issue. And the animal portion of that will be the first in the state to be able to cremate animals by a water process. So the humans, because Kentucky does not allow water cremation for humans, they will be gas cremation. The animals will be through a water process, so there'll be no odor through that.
How many bodies are you able to hold in that?
Well, we would probably be able to do up to 5 cremations a day. I don't anticipate us starting doing that many, but we will have room to grow as the business grows, but initially we could do up to 5 cremations a day.
That's all I got.
And we would be licensed, as far as a crematory, just to sort of clarify, crematory does not fall under the funeral home guidelines. It's an attorney general licensed business, so we'd be licensed under the state attorney general.
What about the smoke that comes from it?
There would not be.
There's
The new
no
modern-
smoke?
No. You
So
do
there's not gonna
You
be
may
any-
see some startup in the morning, like a small amount, but it does not produce ongoing smoke or any.
So it's not gonna have something coming out that's gonna be landing on
No,
everybody's
no,
houses?
no, very clean process. The ones in Louisville are in residential areas. One is located across from Bargain Supply. It's operated for years. There's another one in the Butchell area, and they operate, and there is no situation with that.
I called the one in the Butchell area to ask.
So you got a favorable, unanimous favorable from planning and zoning?
Yes, sir, we did.
recommendation? Okay, all right. Okay.
Is that
And-
restriction anywhere for the city? Do we see where that restriction is in the paperwork?
It should be in the file that we received from planning and
It
zoning,
says right here restriction.
yeah.
It says
In that
restriction.
file.
It does,
To
okay, all right. I hadn't seen that.
Crematory operation only.
Okay.
Yeah, it's handwritten.
Okay, good, all right. Okay,
And-
now, is there any sign-in speakers in reference to this? Anybody here to speak in reference to the zoning? Okay, two back there. What's your names? Did you sign in on the sign-in sheet?
And then Jonathan, I signed it also.
Okay. Jonathan and Jason? Okay, Jason, come on up if you want to.
Curtis, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yes, yeah.
How many employees were y'all gonna be having at those?
There will be four, there'll be the four partners, that would be exclusive partner. And it will not be, we were asking if there'd be large truck traffic in, no, it will be a small, removal van that will bring in loved ones to the facility.
Thank you. Goodness.
All right, sir, give your name, if you would.
Jason Yoakum.
Okay. Okay, you're free to speak.
All right, so I'd like to start off with, I never received a notice about a zoning change on there, even though we're a local business and we receive everything from the city of Shepherdsville, and it's usually where we have to sign for it. So I didn't know nothing about that. I'd never seen a zoning change sign but for one day, and it was down after that. I believe that's what it was. So I don't know if any of y'all have lived around a crematorium or ever been around one. I worked for 4 or 5 years in downtown Louisville around Cave Hill Cemetery, and it has a distinct smell to it when it's burning. My guys and me do not want to have that smell right next to us, basically. So I've invested my life in my 2 pieces of property in town, and there's a few articles here that were within the past 5 years that kind of contradict the stuff from the 60s and 70s that he was referring to, that there is no odor or no smoke or anything like that. There possibly can be. If you'd like to look at these, and pass those out. These are all within 5 years old. They're from different counties and states showing where they're having problems with that. I don't have a problem with the zoning, but I have a problem with the crematorium being there. I mean, I basically live down there, as much as we work by there.
So Jason, is your property right there in the corner and you didn't get anything
Yes,
from the county?
here's my map, and I touch 150 foot of that.
You didn't get anything from the
Never
county?
nothing. But I get all business license, employee withholding tax stuff from the city, any other notice where we're doing jobs or anything in town from planning and zoning. I called planning and zoning about that. They don't know why I didn't get it, but I get hundreds of mail a month, and I seem to get everything no problem.
You said you contacted planning and zoning after the last meeting we had here,
Yes. Hey, I didn't know nothing about it. I seen it on
Okay.
social media.
but they had copies, or they had a copy of a letter that was supposedly sent?
They said they sent it and don't know why I didn't get it.
Did
But
you
yeah,
ask,
the neighbors got it.
did you ask for a copy of that, or?
No, I didn't. Did not.
Okay, so,
Can we look at what you got?
Yes.
now start it down there. and
Start
okay.
down here, so you can read some of that stuff there, some stuff highlighted out. There's one right there from the CEO of a crematorium right there. It basically states, every crematorium will smoke, and if they don't, they're lying. He said it's just the way it is. There's some other stuff, health reasonings. Canada doesn't want them in residential areas. There's obviously mercury when you burn something, but I get they have filters, scrubbers, and all this, but like I say, I worked for 4 years around Cave Hill Cemetery, and you knew when it was going on. Like I say, I don't have a problem. I want people to do what they want with their property, but I've invested millions of dollars back into the city back there in my business and employees and all that, so I have concerns with it.
Mr. Johnson, some of these things that are in here, do you all remove mercury, amalgam dental fillings?
That is basically not used in modern dental fillings. There will be some in older fillings, but the new equipment does process without that being an issue. The crematorium he's talking to is the old Louisville crematorium, which was shut down for various illegal reasons, where they were cremating multiple bodies. There were, I think, a couple 100,000 too many people buried in that cemetery next to Cave Hill, so there were problems. Modern facilities, we will not have those issues. I can assure you, we'll be a good neighbor. You're not gonna have odor issues. We're gonna maintain the property, keep it up, and be a positive neighbor for the community.
Okay, Okay, what about pacemakers?
Pacemakers are removed. Any battery-powered device must be removed. Therefore, licensed funeral director and bombers, myself, and Carla, we remove those on those cases.
Silicone breast implants?
They are not removed.
They're not removed?
They have not been determined to be an issue by the local medical society as a problem.
Any other metal or plastic implants?
Yes, any metal is removed following cremation, and that is recycled by EPA regulations. So it is all sent to a recycling company that has to handle that. We do not handle that. It's separated and it is picked up from our facility.
What about tracking chips and pets?
Tracking chips and pets can be removed with our process, but most of the time they are not removed in the crematory. They're left with the cremated remains.
Y'all might have more questions. Let me go on the next one.
All right, Jason, do you have any more comments while they're looking at this? No. Okay, like I said,
Okay, I just asked you, and this one here says that crematory operators are not allowed to open up the pine boxes and see what kind of body bag is inside.
Correct. Once a body is brought into our care by a funeral home, those bodies are sealed and left the way they are. If someone we bring on directly into our care, we would have total control over that person going into the crematory.
I guess, is it common practice then for the funeral home to remove those devices you were just talking about prior to sending the bodies to you?
Most certainly, but we would always check if there was paperwork noting that there was a pacemaker, we would make sure that it's checked.
Okay, so have the body bags changed? This one says, there are instances where the remains are delivered to crematories in heavy crash bags.
No. In the last numerous years, I would say less than 5% of the deceased are brought to a crematory in a body bag. Most of them are brought in a rigid tray. So either the loved one has been viewed by the family, some have gone as far as having a traditional funeral, and then prior to burial, they're cremated. So a lot of these people are dressed in their normal burial clothes and cremated and not into a final body bag.
Jason, do you have any rebuttal to what he's saying?
Well, I mean.
And like I said, I'm just
obviously-
trying to be, I have to be neutral, just.
Right, no, I mean, that's like I say, I mean, it's light industrial, this is their property, I don't think they're trying to do what they want with it, but, I mean, it's
Yeah.
gonna affect us, in some way that flowed over, whatever, then, yeah, I've got concerns. And like he said earlier, the COVID deaths has rised up, there's articles on that about how much they're, using cremation because of it. And, they're talking about doing it, possibly all week or through the week, and it's gonna be an increased amount.
I will say that we
because
will
of it,
put
so.
out less pollution than any auto body shop, any place spray paint. Our residue that we're gonna release is a lot less than that.
Okay, thank you, Jason.
Yeah.
What about, is it Jonathan? No? Okay, Jonathan, will you come up, please? And Jason, we'll put this at the end of the.
And it was approved, right? It was approved by the.
Yeah, it was
I'm just trying to
unanimous
figure out why
approval.
he didn't get anything.
Okay, and would you give your name and,
My name is Jonathan Arnold. I live at 436 Old Preston Highway South, which is next door to this crematory they want to put in. And I only found out about this about 2 hours ago, so I don't have any prepared statement or anything like that. But I never received a notice either. And though our property does not touch, there's just a driveway between my family home and where they're wanting to put this crematorium. Which, that doesn't belong in a residential area. I mean, I know you said you called the.
I did, I called Board.
Or did you call their neighbors to see how they
I did
thought
not
about
call
it?
the neighbors, but I did also go ahead and call the one in Hikes Point, just to ask questions about it, but. no.
Also, this was in a flood zone. When it flooded in, what was it, 96, that building was under 6 feet of water. So, I mean, are we gonna have to contend with bodies floating down the river when the next flood?
Jonathan, what was your address? I'm sorry.
436 Old Preston Highway South.
I think that to make a better decision, that we visit some crematoriums in the area when they're operating, to see for ourselves what they're doing, and if we smell anything, or like that one picture of the black smoke, that was from 2015, so I can't really judge from something that old.
I mean, this will kill my property value. I'll never be able to sell my house if I wanted to. And that goes for everybody in Salt River.
What's the reason they ain't built on this side of the track? Still the residential side,
I'm sorry.
where all the other big businesses are, why ain't crematory built on this?
Sir,
Hey, you can't well, you're not hollering, but you can't speak out from the audience there, sir.
you have to be signed in and then come to the podium.
Sign in and come to the podium.
Mayor, if I could really quickly, just to go off of what Ms. Enlow just said about visiting some other things and passing this, I will point out to the council, though, the planning commission took their action on August 11th, so our 60 days is tomorrow, and our regulation in Bullitt County says we have to take action within 60 days, or the planning commission finding is what becomes law, which would be an approval. So the KRS
So we
is
don't have
90
time.
days, our Bullitt County regulation says 60 days.
Where I'm from in Ohio, there is a funeral home crematorium up in a residential, it's a highly residential area. And it's from where my mom was actually cremated there. There is no smoke, there is no smell. I mean, I don't know whether these are older places, but this is a highly residential area.
I don't see any reason to put a crematorium in a residential area. Maybe they've done it in the past. I bet you they were all poor areas that they put them in. And that's,
I don't understand why the surrounding people didn't get their letters.
Well, if this gentleman doesn't directly adjoin, he wouldn't have gotten a letter.
yeah, there's 20 feet between my
But he
property and
does.
their property.
No, I don't know if that, yeah, he
He
should
adjoins the
have.
property, if he's down the corner, your property adjoins the back, right? Yeah.
Any adjoining owner should have received notice from the planning commission.
Okay, all right,
And
thank you,
one-
Jonathan.
One final thing.
Sure.
I think I speak for all of Salt River that no one wants it there.
How many
There-
other people's back there?
In here?
Okay,
That's all I have.
all
Thank
right,
you.
thank you, sir. All right,
I have some questions
Okay.
on that, if it's
Okay.
okay. I signed in.
yeah, you're on here, okay.
Joe Kaufman, 411 Centerview Drive. And I know I have to address you all, but he can hear the questions I ask.
Yes,
Is this the only property here in Shepherdsville or Bullitt County that you own?
This is property that's been in our family, like my uncle said, since for over 50 years. We would like to keep it in the family, and this is an opportunity for, yes, it is the only property.
No,
In that,
right. I own a piece of property in Bullitt County.
You talked about, or he talked about the Attorney General's license. What does that consist of? Because I know from experience, the city of Shepherdsville's business license is simple. I could walk off the street and come in here and get a business license. So is the Attorney General's business license more stricter?
we have to be licensed funeral directors, which we are, and continue up to date on our continuing education. And then we are licensed as crematory operators by the Attorney General's office.
okay.
What do you do, how do you dispose of, and maybe I'm wrong on this, the bones? I know you give the ashes to the families or whoever, but
The cremated remains are actually the bone fragments returned back to the family. So everything is returned back to the family.
so everything's in with the ashes and
Yes.
everything?
Yes.
Okay.
One more question. I was in the 97 flood that he was talking about, and I know a lot of the people over on Salt River, I know Bonnie and Stacy remembers them. I mean, it was a bad,
Bad.
bad flood. What would keep your equipment and everything, because this flood took everything.
Our equipment could be raised up off the ground.
Not this far, it wouldn't,
All
not
of
from
Shepherdsville was
97.
flooded.
Well, that was a 500-year flood too, though, you all. That was a significant
And
flood.
also,
Well,
we would
but-
work with any coroner's office, and that if we had anybody at our facility, they would be moved out to a safe location, the coroner's office,
Oh.
prior to anything like that happening.
Okay, I would just ask that you all think about it real hard. I know, from what Deb said and maybe some of the others, that there is in, neighboring, neighborhoods, but, I mean, look at the businesses we have over there now. And I can understand this gentleman, but why wouldn't you want to move it somewhere to where you're not gonna have neighbors or businesses, being mad at you at the very beginning, you know? So that was something to take in
The way
consideration.
the
Oh,
property
thank
is
you.
laid out, the
Thank you.
crematory
Thank you.
will be behind the building, so it will not be visible to the public. The front will be actually where we meet families and make arrangements, so that will be hidden behind the property.
That's good.
Is that, does that require a new structure?
We will have to build a pole barn
So-
behind that we will need to get a building permit on.
Does that require to be out of the floodplain, the foot above the floodplain?
Brenda is your one person to ask on that.
She's floodplain coordinator.
Or any, he doesn't, they don't have to, it has to be vented correctly and built with approved material, but all his utilities that have to be that foot above.
Okay,
So it depends on how he chooses to build it.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions from the council? Okay.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it just,
You got
from
one
what you
more?
said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out it was a 100-year flood in 97, not a 500. And 100-year floods are happening every dozen years now, so
Okay.
kind of neat.
All right. Okay,
so tonight, it really doesn't make any difference if we do anything or not. It takes effect tomorrow.
yeah.
The only way that you could stop is if we come up with enough fact
Finding
findings.
a fact.
Fact finding issue, yeah.
Yes, I just wanted you to be aware, if you,
Right.
you can't pass it and think you still have say after tomorrow.
Right.
You won't.
Being that it's not in the comprehensive plan, though, that's enough fact-finding, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you can craft findings of fact, you certainly can. It's entirely up to the council.
But I don't know if the planning and zoning would have approved it unanimously if it wasn't in there.
No, it says it was not in the comprehensive
not.
plan.
Yeah, it says
Not
it's
in the
not in
plan.
there.
And it should be in the file, the exact findings of fact that the planning commission made. I don't know if we have that. But they found there were significant changes in the area. Their specific findings of fact they should have sent that over with their file. I don't know, as I said here, what that was.
All right, do you have any other statements or? Okay,
It's in here,
okay.
and I got this as a open records request. Well, and we should have received that.
Yeah.
You got
They
that.
did.
We did.
They got it too. Okay, well,
What does
I
it
guess
say?
we'll-
Could we see that, Joe?
Here, I got one.
She's got one.
You got
Yeah,
one?
Stacy's got the file. You got one?
Yeah. Do y'all have one?
I didn't bring mine.
What it also sounds like, though, I'm thinking there was no opposition at the planning commission
No.
because they didn't know, so.
I mean, I don't think it's fair that they didn't know. I mean, I know we can't answer that.
With the adopted comprehensive
The gentleman who doesn't enjoy it would not
But-
need to know,
because
the
it's a
other gentleman
service
should
needed.
have.
But is a needed service and will fit into the area, kind of like other places. Okay, kind of like other places.
Yeah, whatever we're saying out here we have to be able to hear what we're saying.
Yeah, so y'all can't
We're
speak
just
secretly.
reading the
Yeah.
actual thing to see what it
Okay.
says.
I have a problem with that being handwritten.
Descriptions aren't used for,
Yeah.
it needs, well, that needs to be in
Go
the
ahead, sir.
ordinance.
Do you want him to say?
Y'all said that it's wherever y'all live, and pay them the same price for theirs, but y'all said that see how you vote on it.
You
So
understand
I
what
don't
we're-
understand why this restriction's handwritten in here, not typed in here.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I got notes on the whole thing.
Oh,
A lot of
this
notes.
is your copy.
Yeah. See where the blue is?
Yeah, only used for crematory.
The only thing I could think is maybe they realized they left that off
They
and
asked
noted it
if
after
that
the
right as
fact.
we were
or-
leaving that night, if we had any issue, and I guess he documented at that point.
Oh,
he said
okay.
there would be no-
Yeah.
That's at the end.
Must have already been
Okay.
typed out before, that's the, yeah, that's the only thing I
Okay.
could think.
So that is a
And so what,
restriction then.
what they said at the planning commission was the requested zoning change is not in agreement with the adopted comprehensive plan, but is a needed service and will fit into the area. And it looks like there were no opponents present.
Okay. All right, well, all right, need a motion in a second.
We, yeah.
Motion and second, we'll vote on it. We'll call for a vote, so entertain a motion.
If we don't do a motion, it's gonna pass, so I'm gonna make a
Hearing
motion.
none. Moving on.
What?
He was
I ain't
speaking.
heard none.
He was
Any
speaking.
motion? Okay.
Yeah,
He was
I said I was gonna make a motion.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Entertain a motion.
Motion
Kenny?
Motion for what?
to accept,
Okay.
so we can vote on it.
Motion to vote, correct?
To vote. Motion to
Yeah.
vote on it.
So he-
Okay.
he's
Motion
making
to
a
approve the ordinance is
Yeah.
the motion.
And then it'll be yes or no.
So we can vote on it.
Okay.
Okay,
Need a second to,
second.
okay. Now, any discussion? First and second, any discussion? Okay. Those in favor of the zoning change, signal by your hand raised, or, oh, you wanna do a roll call vote?
Sure. Yeah, do
Yeah,
it.
let's do that, cause.
Why?
Ms. Carter.
I'm gonna abstain because of the parties not getting their letters. I'm not for sure why you all didn't get your letters. Most of the time when they send their paperwork out, they usually, and we didn't get this in the past. In the past, when we've gotten these documents, they'll usually have every property owner that they send a letter to.
I've got
And-
one
and-
I didn't belong with yours.
Okay, look, I mean, just looking at this, I mean, what other businesses are in the general area that are adjacent to you all? Is there a tire store?
We're voting on
Yes.
a motion right now.
But
Discussion. Whoa, hey, whoa.
I would like to know,
Just saying,
because,
I gotta have control. You can't be screaming out from there and we're working without signing in and coming up there. Go ahead, sir.
I get, there's Tony's Body Shop,
Okay.
there's also a Fleet Body Shop next to us, there's a tire store across the street, and I think there's a bathroom remodeling business, maybe right next to us. There's a feed store down the street, those are businesses.
Okay, Lisa, does that answer?
that does,
Does
I
that
mean,
help?
there are a lot of businesses in that area.
Oh,
And this was operated as a family business, a gas and oil company business, ran in there for almost 50 years. So they were a Marathon distributor that sold gasoline and oil out of that business.
okay, so abstain.
I'm against.
Ms. Bonnie?
I'm against.
Against?
Bonnie's against, I'll put that on there. Mike?
I'm going to abstain also because of all the confusion in this mess.
You know, abstain goes with the majority rule.
Whatever you wanna do with it.
I'm abstaining too.
Lord.
You abstaining too? Okay.
I'm a no vote.
No vote.
No.
Oh, okay, a no. Is that everybody already? I missed somebody, that was everybody.
Is that everybody?
No, Mike abstained, she abstained.
I've got 3 abstains, 2 against. Is it 3 against?
3 against.
Three against.
Okay, so it failed, right?
Well, so the motion to approve the ordinance failed. You have to take affirmative action with findings of fact to not approve the zoning. So this is, the motion, well, it tied, and your abstains go with your against, but you still have to take affirmative action to vote down the zoning, and you have to make findings of fact. Otherwise, if this is all you do, it takes effect, and if we say it doesn't, they're gonna sue, and you have no findings of fact as to why it was turned down. If you gotta have an affirmative motion with findings of fact to turn it down.
My finding of fact was that it's not in the comprehensive plan.
You need to make a motion with your finding of fact, and that's what has to be voted on.
My motion to turn this down is because it's not in the comprehensive plan.
So
That's
then,
Kenny's.
you don't wanna say anything, okay.
Okay.
My advice would be add something more to it if we're going off of, it doesn't fit for the area, or there's too close to residential.
And it's because it's too close to residential housing.
Okay.
Do I need to do I need to second that or?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second that.
Second with the same, finding the facts.
Yes.
Kenny got it first, Mike had a second. Now we'll vote on that.
Yes.
Okay, now we'll vote on that, so all in favor of that motion,
What
first
is,
and second?
what
Finding
is
of
it we're
facts.
voting on?
Finding of facts,
Findings of facts that we found.
that
It's a
it
motion
doesn't meet
to
the comprehensive
deny
plan.
the change with the findings of fact as stated by Mr. Newton, that it doesn't meet the comprehensive plan and it's too close to residential properties.
Okay, so call for a vote.
Yes, call for a vote. Bonnie? Kenny?
Stacy?
I'll call.
Bonnie, Kenny, and Stacy, with the finding of facts?
Yep.
Okay, those opposed to that?
I'm still abstaining.
Still abstaining?
Yep.
Abstaining? Okay. You got that all documented?
So, abstaining votes go with the majority.
Yes. All right, so, for the zoning change. Yes, yes, sir.
What did, wait just a second, what did, Kenny made a motion, Bonnie second to,
Finding of
Deny the
facts.
zone change with the
That was-
findings of fact.
that the finding of facts that we're here tonight
Yes, with the two finding of
don't
facts.
support it.
That's correct.
Okay, I heard a vote from Lisa,
She abstained.
she abstained. What did everybody else?
You abstained, Deb abstained, and everybody else voted.
Yeah.
So it's
And
the
so the only
same
votes were
vote.
to deny, so the abstentions go with the deny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was denied on the findings of facts, that it doesn't meet the comprehensive plan and that it's too close to residential properties.
All right, moving on. Thank you, sir, thank you. New business, I know of none. I know of no planning and zoning update. I know of no board of adjustments update. Thank you, sir. Speakers? Okay, thank y'all for cooperating. Next, sign-in speakers, a 3-minute limit. James Chapel?
I have nothing to speak on.
Okay, nothing to speak on, okay. Or Darlene?
Same thing.
Same thing, okay, all right.
I'm glad you're here anyway.
Yeah, thank you for attending. David Johns, you have anything to speak on? Okay. And Carl, I think these are some of them from that.
Where's some of them from that?
Yeah, Carl, is there a Carl here? Oh, Carly?
Carla, and the last name starts with an R?
I think that was that lady sitting there.
I think it was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jerry Ryman, all right, come on up.
Evening.
Good evening.
Mayor, this is all for you.
Thank you, sir.
Just got a couple of questions. So, the guy y'all have giving out citations, he answers to you, right?
Who does?
The guy that hands out the citations, what's his name, Ray? And he
Yeah,
handles
code enforcement, yeah,
citations?
answers to me.
Okay. So you make the decisions on who pays fines and who doesn't, and what ordinances are enforced on whose property and stuff? You decide the final thing on that?
I could, I guess.
At the end of the day,
At the end
really,
of, yeah, he doesn't check it, he does his own without checking in with me when he finds tall grass and stuff like that. He'll
Alright.
cite, he's never asked me for ever approval of everything.
So if he gives somebody a citation, they're supposed to pay it, right? If they have to pay a fine, who decides they pay
Right.
that fine?
Right.
Then him or
Yeah.
you?
They will pay the fine. The person who, we have about $100,000 in fines. and
Did that
liens
guy
on
on
people
Fifth Street pay his fine?
No, sir.
Why not? You just said
You're
everybody
gonna
has
have
to
to
pay
ask
it.
him. Have you talked to Mr. Cooper yourself?
No, but you just said they have to pay it, so why hasn't he been made
Have
to
you
pay
talked
it?
to Mr. Cooper?
I'm asking you.
Well, you need to talk to him about that.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Mhm.
Why is it y'all can enforce ordinances on other people but not him?
Because he has a
Now,
citation and
let
he
let
has
me
a-
ask you a real simple question here. And
Yeah.
you might need Tammy's advice on this one.
Yeah.
The rest of your term as mayor, how are you gonna enforce any ordinances on anybody if you didn't enforce them on him?
Well, that's a different, I don't know how to answer that question. What are you talking about?
What do you mean, what am I talking about? The next person comes in here that has a complaint
Hey, let me
about
tell you
somebody's
something. You can't,
property.
because you go door to door promising people for votes
I
that
ain't
you're gonna
promised
do
people
this.
nothing,
Do
but-
you know the
I ain't
duties
promised
of a
nobody
council
nothing.
member?
Don't
Do
make
you know the
accusations that
duties-
you don't know nothing
Do you know
about.
the duties of a council
I'm
member?
asking you a simple question.
Do
How are you
hey,
gonna enforce ordinances?
Silence! Enough!
No, that's enough out of you.
Enough.
Do your job.
Enough.
There's
Enough.
comments are coming up.
All right, next. Daisy?
I have minutes for him, but he's gone.
Okay, Valerie?
Yeah, he had done it.
Okay. All right, well, there's no minutes to give. We don't give minutes no more. No giving time to others. All right. Okay. Next, we got J.D. Warner.
Yes, sir.
J.D., come on up, sir, and just give your name, please. Oh, Warner.
J.D. Warner, I live at 411 Bel Air Drive. I'm making my annual complaint on Bel Air Drive. I'm in here every 6 months.
Was that the street, the paving and the
Yes, sir.
water?
Yep.
Now, y'all was kind enough to come out and put in 2 culverts back in early spring.
Right.
But you took out the only 2 that worked and replaced them.
Uh,
So the 2 that was in complaint to begin with are still not working.
uh-huh.
Winter's coming again. There's 2 steel plates over the road where they cut out the road to put the new culverts in. One of the plates of us driving forth, it has slid across the road about 3.5, 4 feet. So now half your car is in a big hole and the other half's on a steel plate. And that really need to be put back in place. But my biggest question is 3 years now I've been coming in here about getting Bel Air Drive drivable. Y'all have told me in the past you had $178,000, and I know them 2 culverts didn't cost that much. So I'm just curious where we stand. The 2 culverts that was complained about to begin with are still stopped up, are still collapsed. They do not operate, and parts of the roads washed out, parts of the roads caved in, and y'all raised my taxes again this year, and I still have no road fixed.
We didn't
Yeah, they-
raise taxes this year.
I got a $266 tax bill that was $36 last year.
Oh, you might have PVA, what is it, did a recalculation? but we
You know,
didn't.
that's
But we didn't
500%.
raise taxes though.
That's a
Council hasn't
500%
raised property
increase
real
there.
taxes since 2012.
I promise you, we did not raise
Yeah,
taxes.
they haven't raised taxes
We
since
did not.
2012.
Why, who did I talk to see where they come from?
PVA.
County,
County.
PVA, yeah.
County.
PVA.
All right.
County PVA.
I agree.
But anyway, but
But
yeah, go
back to my
ahead.
question.
Yeah.
Can we act Tom about this since he's the one that deals with it?
Yeah, Tom, where do we stand on the paving over there? I remember you asking me, I don't know if I got back.
As everybody knows, we have just gotten Adam Shepherd Blacktop.
Finally, yes.
First thing we got done in the city of Shepherdsville.
Right.
We're basing it on the amount of traffic, how many homes it affects. So Bel Air is one of those roads that's on that list, but it's down the list
Cause there's only 5 of us live on the road.
Can we
Everybody
at
else
least
moves.
replace the other culverts and move the plates back?
We had an engineer go over there.
Uh-huh.
Those culverts that were put in were placed based on the engineer's drainage assessment,
Okay,
okay? And we have another problem over there. That problem is the water line that this water drains, that ditch it drains in, that water line is about 16 inches deep. We can't go any deeper
oh,
to drain any of that water off of that.
Is-
So the only thing we're able to do is the culverts that are there, and then re-blacktop what needs to be blacktopped.
so is it like a Louisville water line is what it is you're talking about?
Louisville Water doesn't wanna really do anything with it. We've had that
Yeah.
problem multiple times as well. Because it's gonna be such a cost eventually.
Yeah,
How many people's back here, JD?
Let's see.
5 homes
1,
occupied?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of it. 7. 7.
7 homes.
All the rest of them's been sold, and Mr. Rice owns the property now, which is all deemed commercial now. But once again, I mean, how's that going to affect the people? We've been back here since 1972.
Yeah.
We started out with a dirt road. I mean, we're almost dirt again. And the 2 rear culverts, they've not worked in 2 years. I mean, they are completely, they're useless. They're not even, no reason for them to even be there. And the 2 that was replaced was already operating. It was already working. So I don't know why they replaced the ones that worked and left the 2 that didn't.
Uh-huh.
Engineer or no engineer, I'm not a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
But you can walk back the road and see that they don't work. They're stopped up. They're completely collapsed.
how about if we have a conversation with the engineer to see if there's some other way to help fix that flow?
Uh-huh.
Well, when
If
it
we can't go
rains-
because a little water's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, Louisville doesn't wanna.
But
do
maybe
anything.
there's an
Well,
alternative method.
They're on the list, and I hate to say this, cause we've said it before, but we'll get to you.
You definitely are on the list.
You're on the
We-
list to get done, and like I said.
Well,
if
they've
you
been
notice, we
talking
just
about
had
this
to-
list for 3 years.
Well,
well,
we
that
have a
is
new
true.
list.
I've had a honeydew list for years.
Yeah.
Okay? But the honeydew list, it still moves.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Well,
Yeah,
the
that's
problem
right.
is, and Tom can tell you this, it's been hard to even get blacktop. And
Oh,
if you
yeah.
can
Like
get
during-
it,
'cause
if
of
they
COVID
can get
stuff.
it, they're so far out right now, we're not getting roads blacktop like we needed.
Yeah,
We'll go down there and talk to Louisville Paving right there on
yeah, about the
New
pallet
part of
company.
Preston.
Yeah,
They had a bad run last month, and they had 400 tons they had to dispose of. I could have used that.
Yes, we could have
No.
too.
man, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but anyway,
Well,
at least
thank-
thank you for listening to
Well,
me.
JD, thank you
Can
for
we get
coming.
your phone number?
Yes, ma'am. 502-817-0411.
Thank you very much
All
for
right, thank you,
coming.
Y'all have a
JD.
good day.
Thank you, sir.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Do you know how much money we have in that project, Tom, considering all we had is a lump sum for projects to be done in the, throughout the city? There was nothing broken down for any areas, it was just all in a lump sum.
I don't know, standing here, no, I don't know what's in there.
All right, thank you.
I do remember you coming, I do.
Yeah.
And you talked about your
I went out-
collapsed
we went
pipes.
out-
We went
Looked
out
at
there, yeah.
I mean, it's bad.
My question is, he's talking about bringing blacktop. Are they going to fix the culverts that's not working before they do the new blacktop?
Let's hope they do.
Right,
And that's my
Well,
biggest
that's what we
question.
would ask the contractor too.
Right.
Put that price in there.
we would need to
Yeah.
talk to the engineer to see if we can't,
Yeah.
we can't put any
don't wanna
deeper
patchwork.
culverts there, then we need to find out what we can do to work
Well, the
around
culvert's
that.
already there. They're just collapsed.
They're collapsed.
Where they run, they
Well, they
logged
need
it back here a few years ago,
Uh-huh.
and the
They
logging
tore up the
trucks
guards.
collapsed
I
the
mean,
culverts.
they tore up the
And then-
blacktop.
The new exit that they put in on 65,
Yeah.
well, they brought all that dirt behind my house. Now, the 40-acre field behind me is now a 40-acre pile of dirt. That's 50 foot high. And all them trucks run in out of Bel Air Drive, also finished collapsing the culverts and stuff. So there's been 2 major constructions going on back here, and nobody's addressed the issue of our road.
Well, we need to have a sign put up that says, no heavy trucks back in there. There's no reason for a heavy truck to drive on that road.
There's only 5 of us back there, and they've already logged everything.
I mean, I don't think they
It's
could
a
get
dead
back
end
there
too,
anyway.
but Cooper's now a dead end, so you can't even.
Right.
why
Yeah,
you know.
they did cut the end of Cooper off.
Yeah, they
also.
cut it off, so that should have helped some.
Well, no, it would've helped if y'all left it alone, cause
Oh, yeah, so good it got through there?
now,
Now, put a circle at the
if I
end.
wanna turn left on Preston,
Yeah.
I literally have to make, if I'm pulling my 16-foot trailer, I have to swing way around and come back in just to get back in the road. When I'm turning into Cooper, I mean, I have to almost go in people's ditches just to get turned into Cooper coming
Man,
from
yeah,
the south.
yeah, okay. All right, thank you. James Lowe, see here. You, James?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, was you speaking on the, what's your address? East Millwater Falls? Well, there is a James Lowe. Are you James Lowe? Oh, yeah.
He doesn't sign in to be here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, thank you for being here. So, yeah, you don't have to sign in unless you want to speak, so thank you.
Free gift card or something.
Yeah, for a draw.
What is, median in between the, 60 or 61, look like crap, you know, where it is, fine businesses are, that's so fine.
I don't know, I can't answer that.
161, that's a highway, that's District
State
5 out
road.
of Louisville.
Yeah, the
Yes.
state does that.
President's,
We don't
that's a
have no-
state road.
Yeah,
We don't do anything with it.
we can't have any control, we don't have control over state or county.
Do something for, you know, like races or whatever, everybody says there ain't not a park.
Well, it is, in state, we can't control the state or the county. We can still talk to them about it, you know, but we don't have no control of the state or the county, or the railroad. All right, next is,
What about the white signs up here in front of Walmart? Put lights up there to people to see. I had to stop a lady coming the wrong way toward Walmart the other night. I had to stop the traffic behind me. I
okay,
put, lights up,
all right, let's move on.
paint the road for people to see.
All right, Lane, you got anything? Tom, you got anything? Darren? Officer, you got anything? Bonnie, you got anything? Council comments?
Actually, no, I don't have anything this time.
Okay. Mike, you got anything? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, shh, you can't talk, you can't just speak from the audience. You're in a business meeting, city business meeting, you can't just holler and talk from the audience. I ain't trying to be mean to you. Yeah. All right. Mike, okay.
No, not this evening.
All right, States.
I do.
Hey, shh. You're disrupting the business meeting.
No, I do.
You okay, Mr. Lowe? You okay? Okay.
I
Bonnie,
wanna
you got-
ask the police officer in the back.
Yeah.
I called in, I was in Mallard Lake and they want speed patrol ran through there. I just wanna make sure that's being done.
Ma'am, I'll take care of that.
Well, I turned it in, but I just wanna make sure it's being,
Yeah, I'll give you the visual.
cause there was several people that complained about speed. And it's through the main drag.
I'll make sure these are all.
All right, thank you.
Tom, I had somebody question me on Shady Glen about speed bumps. They're having trouble, issues with speeders back there, really bad. I don't know what we need to do, but I talked
Speed
to,
bumps aren't really an option. It's more of a legal thing. And what you would have to do is have every member of that subdivision back there sign off, saying they want them.
okay,
So,
can we patrol that area too?
what we can do is make sure the signage is there, make sure it's, good signage, not something old. Add some maybe.
Okay. What do I need, who do I need to call? Cause I've called them before, District 5. I've had numerous, I don't know if anybody else on the council's had calls about this, but the lights in Buckman Street area and 44, they don't, you'll get up to them and they don't give you a motion to go left or right, they stop. You may sit there for, I mean, I had somebody tell me they sat there for 10 minutes and it never turned. Who do I call about that? Well, this one particular is the light in Shepherdville. You turn left 65 south going towards Shepherdsville from Highway 44. I got a complaint on that. But I got 3 complaints right there by Excel Auto at that light and Buckman.
Joe B. Hall.
Joe
and
B.
Bud-
Joe B. Hall, yeah.
I've
It
gotten 6.
doesn't change, like,
It
I get
does
stuff
not
about that
change
too.
at all, and I've called District 5 about it, but it's still going on. It's a timing issue, I think.
Yeah, District 5 is, not real easy to work with. I don't have a really good contact there. My guy retired, this year. Sorry, I don't have a better answer for you, but they're not real easy to work with.
Have y'all got complaints on that?
I'll just say that I don't like the car. Tanks for 6, 8,
Yeah.
10 minutes at times, and there being nobody coming in any direction.
Right, I've had the same thing happen.
Yeah.
Especially later at night for some reason.
Yeah.
It's really
Well,
bad.
From
when,
11:30 on.
when
Might be that
somebody's
stop
getting a
limit line.
ticket because it don't turn, that's not fair.
Well, I'll be the first one to get that ticket then.
No, I know.
I get
it
stuck there
hap-
all the time.
Yeah, it happened to somebody, that's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, the motorcycle probably won't make the limit like the change, will it?
Well, that's
I'll
at a
ask
lot of
Arthur if he
intersections
has a-
though, yeah.
I'll ask Arthur if he has a contact with District 5 about that.
Well,
Yeah, 'cause I
we
just
gotta
heard enough
figure
right
that
there.
out because somebody got a ticket. It never turned and they just went through it because they just kept sitting there and it wouldn't go.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's not right. Okay, I'll check with Arthur on that. See if he
that's
has-
all I got.
Okay, thank you. Hold on, you write this down. Okay, Deb?
Yeah, the only thing, I had somebody complain about the lighting situation out here in our parking lot.
The lighting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll
Some of
check
the
the
lights
light.
aren't working,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's really dark, especially now that we have to leave later.
Uh-huh.
It's really dark out there.
Okay.
It's right where the flags are. There's,
Okay.
there's the lower lighting
I
on the
think,
ground, but there's no upper
Police
lighting.
clerks know it's,
I've turned several into the police clerks.
yeah, cause it was
Street
over by
lights,
the
not
signs, it
that
was
light,
out, and they
street
called, made a
lights.
phone call, and they came in. It's Salt
Yeah.
River or LG&E. Yeah,
It's Salt
Yeah, so
River.
we need to
Yeah.
get those,
okay,
that taken care of.
Well, I had to call one in a month ago and it still hasn't.
still out, okay, well, thank you for it, I'll check.
Yeah,
on that.
one of the complaints was
Mm-hmm.
that they said that people drop off their kids, that's where drop-off zone for
Yeah, it's got a.
parents and
signs
stuff.
there.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
And it's very dangerous to even be out there dropping off anybody.
Okay. Okay,
That's all I have.
okay, Kenny.
Yeah, major patch in there, same thing that, Stacy said, Mallard Lake, been having a lot of my neighbors calling about Mallard Lake Boulevard and reserves. People cutting through,
Well, I even had the guy that when you go into the subdivision, Mr. Allen, that lives in the first house, said he would love to get a cop to sit right there behind his fence and catch them left and right, cause he said somebody's gonna get killed. A kid's gonna get killed.
Well, we'll get some targeted enforcement going in there. Did they have to say the time of day that it's happening?
All time.
early morning
And
and
like-
then in the afternoon till 11
Like
o'clock at night.
4 o'clock to, yeah.
Kinda your middays, not, really when, it's just early in the morning, and then 4 o'clock to 11.
4 to 11.
I even
It's
had,
like a raceway.
they said they're cutting through is what
Yeah,
they're doing.
that's what they're doing.
Yeah, we'll get some targeted enforcement.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Major.
That's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Lisa Carter.
Nobody mentioned it. Adam Shepherd, it got paved.
Yes.
But
That's good, yeah.
I still have a few complaints. The question was, I thought we were gonna put a right in, right out on Keystone Crossing so that the folks could not make the left onto Adam Shepherd to 44. I think a little asphalt would have served the purpose to have raised it up and made that little triangle for the right in and out. The other thing is, when we were talking about the roundabout, we talked about getting signs on the road that stated Interstate 65, this lane only. So we have all these lanes, and people don't know where to go. If we could get a few of those adhered to the ground, that would be wonderful. And if we could maybe get a sign attached to the red light cable as you're sitting back there, those 2 left lanes that turn left, to say Interstate 65, that would be wonderful. I think I had 3 complaints. The road's wonderful, but there's still no signage for 65. So if, So, is there any way, Tom, I'm sure we've got some maps money.
And what are we looking to do exactly?
The 2 lanes, there's the far lane that turns left onto 44 to go east, the middle lane that turns also. In that middle lane, could we get a sign from, I don't know if we have to go through District 5 to get a
Oh, we
sign?
would, yeah.
So could we see if we can't get a sign that specifically says this lane 65? And where you take the torch and you torch, if you go to Florida out of Tampa, they have 65, all the interchanges, those big interstate things, where they've torched on the pavement.
Yeah.
I
Poured on
think,
pavement,
I
yeah.
think our confusion with a lot of the people that are in the left lane that need to immediately get on 65 south and they bottleneck traffic right there. If we could get those lanes marked, I think that would help our traffic through there tremendously.
Now, I don't know if you guys are aware that every bit of that changes when this roundabout happens. Now, I don't think that's gonna happen, but, and I don't care to spend that funds to put something there, but it's gonna be short-lived. Because there's a lot of,
Well, short-lived would be better than somebody getting killed. So,
I agree, I'm just making sure everyone understands that what we agreed upon in a open meeting was to repave the road and restripe it as it is. That's
Yeah.
exactly what we've done. I don't care to add some things to it, but that wasn't the original scope of work, and we can gladly do whatever's requested to do. That's not a problem.
I mean, does the council, do you all agree with that? I mean, I think a lot of the people, I see heads shaking in the audience, that some interstate signs would be great.
I mean, I agree,
I mean, I think it's a good idea.
I had a tractor trailer about to take me out one day because he was in the wrong lane and he just decided to come over anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, people don't know because they're not from here. They don't know. how to
Right.
do it.
All right.
Well, if we can at least look into it, see if there's a sign we can get.
Well, I'm sure we can get the folks that striped it, and, I'm sure they can paint something
That
on
would
the
be,
ground. They would have nothing to do with hanging a sign.
right,
Again, unfortunately, that goes back to the people we had trouble getting in touch with.
yes.
Right.
But I've got no problem reaching out to them. It just falls on deaf ears.
Yeah.
But I can email and I can copy all of you as well.
Yeah.
So that you kind of see the path.
Well, and
Okay.
if we can get a couple places back further and then up close to tell them where they're needing to be, that might help quite a bit.
There is only one 65 sign, and it's right there, in the right-hand turning lane, probably maybe 60, 70 foot at the red light, almost when you're always to it. So if it could, I just think personally, being in big cities, they have those where they take the torch and they torch them down, and you can't miss it. I mean,
Oh, I know, yeah, again.
I don't know how much those cost, but, you know, I think honestly, if it's gonna be a while.
By the end of the day tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Mr.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
May I say something in regards to that? I've seen traffic back all the way up to the light there at Kroger. So how far back would you have to put this notification in the roads? Because people, you don't put something further back than Kroger, the people will be sitting on top of them, so the people behind them won't see them start with. I think putting them overhead would be the best bet. I know that makes you go through the state to have it done, but it would be there.
Well, we can at least ask them, and if they don't respond.
Thanks, Tom.
Deal with that problem. Okay.
And that's all I have.
All right,
But
thank
everybody
you.
said the road's great, so.
Thank you. Okay, motion to adjourn. Motion. Kenny?
Second.
Mike?
That's okay, you guys can.
Mike, you good? Okay, so it looks like, do we agree, Kenny, motion, Mike
Yeah.
second? Okay, all in favor? Oh, carry 6. Thank you all for coming.
Hey, Tom,
I wish we could find somewhere for District 5.
I got your check.